So this particular panel is very interesting for all of us because we have global, regional, and very local expertise coming together on this panel. So we have, Rungis. We could probably pick up some learnings on the success of how Rungis performed in Paris, and we could also perhaps get some perspectives from Valerie from the global wholesale markets and how the wholesale markets have been evolving and transforming. And of course, from Abu Dhabi Food Hub, Jens, in terms of how the wholesale markets are planned to develop in this region. Now, to set the context here, globally, about 70% of the volume, food volume, is traded through wholesale, which outlines the significance of this. And perhaps it takes the central stage in terms of how pivotal it is for resilient supply chain. And drawing from the global perspective and looking at what's happening in this region, we are, GCC and UAE in particular, we are highly import dependent in terms of our food products. And we have a arid region here, which further articulates the importance of the cold chain integrity. And bringing this together, I would like to perhaps start with the first outline question to set the context here is, what is the single most transformative change that is needed in developing these future-ready food systems? I would like to go with Valerie in the beginning from a global perspective. How can global policy frameworks could support this transition of the wholesale markets?
Okay, thank you. So at the global perspective, from framework, I will have two regards. One is for the vision of a WUWM. WUWM doesn't do any policy, but we are advocating for policies. So there is no global policy regarding wholesale markets, but you can find some national policies. For example, there is in France, there is in one going on in Cameroon in Africa, there is in South Korea. So in many countries there are some national policies, especially for ensuring food security of the population. If we look at the regional level, you can find some. For example, in South America, like Brazil, Argentina, there are some regional policy or framework. And regarding what we are doing within the WUWM, we, for example, in South America, so the regional group of South America is advocacy, has a big advocacy on policies, and they put in place something. They push, for example, International Day for Fruit and Vegetables, and so they put it on the table, and then now it has been endorsed by United Nations. And so we are trying to push the wholesale market subject on different kind of organizations. So it can be European Commission at the European level, international organization as FAO. And so we try, to put some stones and to bring on the floor and on the stage the subject and the importance of wholesale market, especially for food security, for enhancing and for support the farmers, etc., etc. So that's what I can say on.
Oh, that's an interesting perspective from the global perspective. Perhaps this is follow on to this to Jens. So from Abu Dhabi Food Hub perspective, how are you planning to shape up the future food hubs and to contribute to the sustainable food systems and so on?
Well, from our perspective, we think we need to go beyond the physical marketplaces, the physical infrastructure that is currently catering for local and regional demands. We need to really think digitally native to become future ready, to become resilient, to become transparent, and all the other elements that are demanded by the players that are involved in digital food trade. At Abu Dhabi Food Hub, this is at the core of what we are enabling and how we want to empower in the future our business partners, our traders, the global markets, but most importantly, our local farmers, catering for regional demand, as well as connecting global markets more efficiently, more sustainable, and more resilient going forward, to be a true future-ready marketplace that connects elements globally with a local flavor.
Excellent, thank you. So, moving to Rungis, the success of Rungis and so on, which operational innovations have proven most effective for the sustainable food systems?
Thanks, Chaitanya. It's a pleasure for me to be here as the international director of Semaris. And Semaris is a managing company of one of the largest wholesale markets in the world. As you know, food is strategic. Food is strategic for France, and Rungis is an institution, a France, and a reference in the world. We have the mandate to bring fresh food, food safety, traceability, and to ensure the feeding of 18 million of people. Every year we trade around 3 million of tons, and we are one and unique ecosystem. Despite this long success story, we are challenged. We are challenged by many factors. We are challenged by the international situation. We are challenged by inflation. We are challenged by globalization, and our mission and strategy and dynamic is driven by integration of innovation. On each component of our business, we try to implement the proper innovation. Innovation in regards real estate development, it means modularity and the capacity to design and to build the best cold storage warehouses. It means innovation by integration of add-value services. And our market is more than a market. It is an ecosystem, a brilliant ecosystem, a smart ecosystem, integrating waste treatment plant, integrating facilities management, integrating artificial intelligence, and integrating all the different elements who make this market as special and as possible and fully defined and dedicate to our operator. And at the end, innovation is also innovation in terms of governance. We are a public and private company. In my opinion, and in regards with the long success story we have, food is a sensitive subject. You know, it's not goods. You do not supply food as you supply iPhone or general goods. It means we have to define a special framework in order to ensure the best control and use the proper logistic to deliver and to ensure the best supply chain for this kind of product. This is the vision we are deploying. This is the vision we're going to make in addition with our partner, with Gents. And for me, Dubai, Abu Dhabi offering the best perspective to offer a kind of new, spatial, and game-changing ecosystem.
Okay. That's an interesting perspective, Bertrand. You've touched upon two important topics here. One is integration and technology and innovation and so on. So I'm going to come to that in a bit. But before we get there, you've also mentioned about the circularity and how you've actually worked it up in Rungis. So if you look at the importance of circularity, and on a reflection of that, if you look at a balance between the cost, the kind of services that you provide in Rungis, and perhaps on the sustainability angle, where do you see the balance between these in succeeding as a wholesale market?
That is a big question, because as you know, our mandate is not to provide the logistic, it is to provide the proper ecosystem. and there is a balance between the service to be paid by our clients and the services to be provided by my company in order to ensure the proper balance between those two different insights. I think the best way, and this is what we're working on, it is the creation of the ecosystem and integration of a pillar of circular economy. At the end, we provide services, and those services will provide benefit, economic benefit. I'm going to be concrete. For example, we ensure the implementation of a huge policy in terms of waste treatment plan. It is costly to ensure the proper collection of the waste on our market. Keep in mind we trade up to 3 million of tons every year, and at the end, with the capacity to collect and to select and to ensure the proper treatment of this waste, at the end we only generate 40,000 tons. It means 1.2% of waste. So that is the first point. The second point is decarbonization. Decarbonization is key, you know. With the consolidation of the different operators on the same site, we can offer some solution to decarbonize the economy of the market. And at the end, keep in mind, we are generating an EBITDA up to 50%. So it's not, there is not unbalanced situations between the capacity to provide proper, sustainable and innovative solutions and to make money after this.
Okay, excellent. That's an interesting perspective, Bertong. Perhaps the success of resilient supply chains is defined by the access to food and food security for the people. Now, in that context, perhaps going to Valerie, from the global perspective, which innovations improve food access and reduce losses from your experience?
So we have many perspectives because we need to know that regarding the where we are, the solutions are not the same, the context is not the same, and so we are not at the same level in all the world, of course, and I think you may know it here. So what we can do, I think it may be put in place in many places in the wholesale market. What we found that can have an impact regarding the reducing all the waste and the losses and so on, and to give a more added value of the products. Maybe to put in place in the wholesale market some processing plants. It's a good way to give some value to products that are still edible but not as good as they should be. For example, I can give some examples, or just put some processing plant for tomato sauce. We've seen there in Europe or in South Africa, in Roma. So it's a way to give a new life to products that are not, that if we try to sell it, it would be a very low price. So you give some more sales life to the products, and you give some more money and added value. One thing also is that it's most of the country, wholesale market is a place where you give place for the farmer products, for the local production. So it's one of the main role of wholesale market in the world, and it is one of the first role at the beginning, maybe. So it's a way to structure all the chain of production, of agricultural production. And sometimes the difficult thing is for the farmers to come to the wholesale market. So one of the action that can be put in place is to organize this the way from the pickup of the production from the farms to the wholesale market. And it can be everywhere. It's a way to help the farmers and to structure the chain, the value chain of the farms.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Perhaps going to Jens, in this part, food security is a pivotal area for the food security perspective. Now, from Abu Dhabi Food Hub, what are the design and operational considerations that you have to address these regional food security?
Sure. I think, as we all know, for the UAE, food security is a pivotal agenda, and it's not just for the UAE; it's actually for the broader region as well. When we importing well over 80% of our products, our food products, into the UAE, we become very reliant on the supply chain solutions, on the logistics, which is heavily at risk of disruptions, which we have experienced over the recent years more frequently. Now, with that in mind, we need to build, and we at Abu Dhabi Food Hub, building a framework, an ecosystem that will enable resilience, that will enable the future readiness of food supplies to the UAE, that will be efficient, that will be fully integrated, that will connect also the key building blocks of food security. These key building blocks, if you import 80% plus of your products from overseas, the building blocks is enabling local trade, enabling local farming, local production for the domestic market, but also for the regional market. That is one pillar, one building block. On top of that, for us, and it is baked in our core strategy, to create a more seamless, frictionless environment for trade, which ultimately will shorten and de-risk the entire supply chain, bringing product into the market, and therefore bringing product to the market fresher, with less spoilage or write-offs, and therefore also at more affordable pricing. Because the other element is pricing increases, price inflations due to the supply chain issues, becomes part of the food security element as well. Building a food hub is not just another marketplace. It is actually a transformational venture that will build an ecosystem connecting dots from all over the world to bring the food security to the UAE and enabling our people living in this country to trust that food is available at the right quality, with the right traceability, at the right price, now and in the future.
I think that's plan to bring all the value, the stakeholders across the value chain into one platform with a resilient cold chain.
Yes.
Sure, that's a great initiative, and probably perhaps sets as a benchmark for the region as we evolve into the wholesale market. Perhaps before I move into the technology and innovation part, just to quickly touch upon, as we're conscious of the time, from Rungis' perspective, how do you facilitate steady supply chain and minimize waste?
We are an impact company. I mean, with our leadership and our capacity to concentrate 70% of the flows at the scale, for example, of Orange region, we can implement and ensuring proper initiative to ensure the proper decarbonization of our businesses. For example, in the past, we developed different initiatives. We implemented the farmers' pavilions, for example, in order to connect the local farmers to the domestic market. We integrating vast waste treatment plants, ensuring the collection of the waste, selecting the waste, and at the end, capacity to retreat up to 90% of the waste collected on the market. And for the part not in capacity to be retreated, we offer the capacity to burn the waste and to produce energy. It is a big source. As you can imagine, as we are one of the most largest developments in terms of cold storage warehouses, we have a huge we have a huge demand in terms of creation, in terms of feeding electricity. So the use of the energy produced by the development is key. In addition to that, we also implemented some initiatives like the implementation of a fleet of electrical vehicles to ensure the proper connection between the different pavilions in the market. And we have big vision, huge visions regarding urban logistics. I see in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, last week I was in China, there is big trouble regarding congestion, regarding traffic jam. And you know what? If you have a look about statistics, 50% of the traffic is done by the logistic of food. If we can offer innovative and sustainable solutions by the consolidation of proper urban logistics, I am sure we can provide game-changing solutions and to improve the quality of life of people. That is the vision we have, and we are working closely with the company. We help and we support, we integrate artificial intelligence to maximize the urban logistics. So a lot of solution. At the end, we try to be like a smart toolbox for our different clients.
That's inspiring to hear, Bertrand. Now, I think in the last few minutes, we've touched upon some of the key elements about technology, innovation, and how it's going to transform the wholesale markets and food trade, speaking. In that context, perhaps to see what I see personally is technology, digitalization, AI. All these technology elements are no more a tool, but perhaps a catalyst to transform this whole ecosystem and the food trade. To begin with, perhaps Valerie on this, which emerging technologies have proven most effective in this transformation?
Okay, so it's quite not a difficult question, but just to say one thing. So there are many things, but one effective things that we see is traceability. I think that traceability is really important, and it's really important everywhere for many reasons. For safety reasons. Food safety reason, for food security, so traceability is for economic reason also. So there are some very simple innovation now that helps for traceability. I can say QR code or bear code. So it's really easy now with all the AI and all the technologies to put in place traceability via QR code or something like that. We've seen that in Asia, we've seen that in MENA country. I was in Kuwait yesterday, so I've seen this in Kuwait, of course, in Europe, in Rungis, there are some at the poultry pavilion. So, traceability for us, and by very simple tools, it's easy to put in place. And I just wanted to add two things. So I jump on what Bertrand just said regarding urban logistics. Within the WUWM, we put in place, we have a technical group, working group on digitalization and logistics. And so we make a position paper that you can find on our website. So it talks about the future of logistics and urban logistics and the link between the city and the wholesale market and the farmers and so on and so on. And so last thing, what we do, WUWM, just to share all these practices, because it's one of our aim is to share practices and to help our wholesale market around the world to put in place the best practices or good or success story. So we share within, we organize conference, so we share these practices, and we also share them by our newsletter and in our website. So we try to find the best practices in the world, in the wholesale market, and to share with other, with all the members in order to put them in place.
Excellent, thank you. I would like to hear from Rungis, and then I'll come to you. Jens, I'm particularly interested to understand how this whole technology innovation and digitalization aspect has been adopted in Abu Dhabi Food Hub. But before I get to Jens, at Rungis, Bertong, if you could probably briefly help us understand, among the different technologies and innovations such as AI, IoT, or digital marketplaces and so on, which one had the highest impact on your success?
I think the biggest impact is the disruption with the digital. Because as you know, in the past, for 50 years, our market was a physical point of connection between offer and demand. It was a traditional way for farmers to bring food to the city. We use this famous sentence, from farm to the fork. And the main function of the market was to ensuring this connection, physical trading, and daily discussions regarding the volume and the price, and after capacity to ensure the delivery at the final point. With the disruption of the digital, everything is disrupted, you know. But that is the ambition, and I think we are succeeding with the digital marketplace we design and we now operate in Rungis for 5 years. We can ensure the consolidation, the collection of the goods on different points of the market, the capacity to offer the best digital treatment for accountants' operations, and after to ensure the door-to-door logistics. So digital is big disruption, but the biggest disruption arriving now is artificial intelligence. So our vision and dynamic at the moment is to ensure integration of artificial intelligence solutions inside our digital marketplace.
Okay. Now, going to Jens, which technologies and partnerships do you see are critical in defining the success for this transformation in UAE?
So I've previously spoken about multiple words that I sort of repeated through the way. One is resilience, one is seamless, and the other one is future readiness. I think these are all words that we embed in our execution, and we constantly reflect on this, on how we can achieve that resilience, seamlessness, and future readiness. As part of that, besides having state-of-the-art infrastructure, fully integrated supply chain and logistics solutions, we need to go beyond that. We need to embrace the evolution of digital technology, the pace that is given to us by AI, for instance. We need to embrace that. Historically, markets retrofitted digital solutions, and it became part of a bolt-on tool. For us, it's an essential culture, and therefore to be digitally native is essential to the future success, to really achieve that efficiency, the resilience, that future readiness. Whether these are AI tools that help predictive forecasting, predictive pricing, whether this is blockchain solutions for track and trace, not just track and trace, but actually having full traceability from farm to fork at the end of the day to ensure customers that the product they're having on their plate as an end customer has that origin and has that quality chain associated with that. And on top of that, service solutions that enable that seamless movement of goods, preserving shelf life, reducing wastages, and enabling pricing stability in the market. But we also need to go beyond that, and strategic partnerships to achieve that are essential. Globally, we can find a lot of benchmarks for the various functional pillars to address and achieve these elements. One of those pillars is our collaboration and partnership with Rungis, who are a proven leader in wholesale, in a marketplace environment that reinvented itself over many years again as well. And that evolution is essential for us to adopt the learning, that benchmark, and bring this knowledge and know-how to the UAE and to the GCC to enable each other, not as competitors, but as partners in securing our food for the future and enabling our trading partners in the region, locally and globally going forward. And I thank you, Bertrand, for the partnership and the positive exchanges and building this exciting project together with your group.
Great, thank you, Jens. I think it looks like the digital-first cold chain is going to be pivotal in this whole transformation. Before Jesse comes onto the stage, I think thank you everyone for the valuable insights. And as I hope it's been insightful for the audience as well. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.